According to the state of Michigan, threats to schools have increased significantly in the past 9 years. TV6's Justin Fantoff explains why threats are increasing and what schools are doing to make sure your child is safe during the school day.
Marquette Area Public School Resource Officer Jeff Zarni checks a door at Marquette Senior High School. Zarni is responsible for the district's 8 schools and roughly 3,600 students. Zarni says there are a few primary things he looks out for when performing a school safety check.
All the doors are locked and shut. All the doors to make sure none of the, nobody's propped a door to run outside or do something. Especially base level windows, if they're open or, to make sure they're shut up and closed.
Michigan's OK to Say program is a statewide confidential reporting system that allows students, faculty, and parents to report potential threats. OK to Say reports that school threat tips for 2023 have increased since the program was launched in 2014. In 2014, the program saw 601 tips. So far in 2023, the program has received 5,317, and there's still 3 months in the year. Detective Sergeant for the Marquette City Police Nate Dawson says while his department's call data from this past year hasn't been released yet, it follows this same trend.
I feel like we're getting more and more every year, and a lot of them are just things that are posted. People are angry or they're upset with somebody, so they'll say something, and then other kids or other parents will report that, and we'll do a thorough investigation because we don't want to brush anything aside. We don't want to overlook anything.
In the 2019 to 2020 school year, the Marquette Police Department received 545 calls involving Marquette Area Public Schools and Father Marquette. That number nearly doubled for the 2021 to 2022 school year at roughly 1,000 calls total. Dawson says social media apps like Snapchat and Facebook are where a majority of these threats are found.
A huge number of our threats that get investigated originate on social media platforms.
To address the increase of threats, many schools across the state have added SROs this year thanks to a competitive grant program. We asked 68 districts in the UP if they currently have resource officers, and 43 say they do. Of that 43, 15 schools have added them this year. The Tequamanon Area School District is looking to add one in the future.
I think the SRO would allow educators to be educators and allow the safety patrol person, to a resource officer, to be the law enforcement, to take care of those issues that just are time suckers when it comes to dealing with things that are against the law in a school.
Price says, although her district didn't receive a grant for an SRO, that isn't stopping her.
The other part of a grant too is that they're short-lived. They're not sustaining. And if you're trying to make an impact in a district, you want to look at that long range plan and what the long range, of keeping it going, to mean, and not always, struggling every year to get that grant renewed or to find a different resource.
Meanwhile, West Orange County School Superintendent Kevin Schmutzler says competitive grants are great for those who receive them. His district currently pays out of pocket for its SRO.
If you don't get the grant, then you're left out. Well, how's that good for all kids in our state of Michigan? So get away from the competitive grants and please just give us money towards safety rather than be a competitive grant system where we pick and choose who gets it, who doesn't.
West Orange County School District's SRO Doug Wiesner says outside of the grants, the state also provides guidance on how to keep schools safe.
We have a very good system. It's called a BTAM, which is a Basic Threat Assessment Module, which has come out, and it's statewide. So we use that, and we can identify students that may have issues, and then we can move into interventions of talking to them, mentoring and helping with their problems if they can be helped or get outside help for them.
Wiesner says that preparation can drastically change how fast a threat can be handled.
It takes a response time for any situation down to like a minute, where it would take longer for an outside officer to come out of the community and come into the schools. So that's a major plus right there.
And how are students feeling about officer presence in their schools? High school freshman Mason Ahola says having a resource officer makes him feel safer.
Just because there's an officer in the school doesn't mean that the school's a bad place. He's only making it a better place by being here and helping people with what they might go through on a day-to-day basis.
both resource officers stress the importance of preventative intervention. They say the best way you can make sure your kids are safe at school is by having an honest conversation with your children and checking in on them. Justin Van Hoff, TV6 Investigates.
Thank you, Justin. And if you would like to report a threat to OK to Say's anonymous system, you can call 855-565-2729 or text 652-729. And for more resources for you or your children, you can go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And if you have an idea for TV6 Investigates, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. Click on the TV6 Investigates page and let us know what you think we should investigate.